And we're back with Richard Reviews. Today we are reviewing a book for richardreviews.com/GriffinChestnut here on YouTube. Today's book that Richard will be reviewing for us is, of course, Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This is a national bestseller and an original piece, one of Japan's most glorious novels in the late 21st century. Richard has had his eye on this piece for quite some time, and according to the New Yorker, this is a celebration of unconformity that is both joyous and unsettling. In Richard's blatant opinion, he has been developing some sort of a wonderfully interaction and introduction to Japanese literature, along with ancient Russian literature and some Scientology as well. This concludes his Japanese collection, which he has uploaded a fair amount of in the 21st century of that time period. Richard obtained this piece post-2014, and he also read the entire piece in post-2014 as well. This is Richard's personal piece. We're going to get into it. It's a pretty small piece. It's not very big, as you can see. It's a quick read, a short read, and a very interesting selection of various expository elements. As for the entire piece, with rounding it up all in one package, Richard has very good things to say about this piece. It is highly rated, 2 thumbs up from Richard himself. This piece is immaculate beyond discussion. There are a few discrepancies that fall along the line of some display imaging, maybe some fictionalized paperwork, or in the future a condensed version of the in-book and invoice of himself. Richard grew up in the upstate New York region, where he studied boxing and taekwondo. And you would think he's a bizarre character, but he's usually standing by the water cooler at work. He takes exception to this, which most people would find utterly strange. He has never been married, but he did 15 years in volunteer work for anthropology and globalization near the town of Schenectady in New York. He also did 3 months writing his own novel and uploaded his blog, which you can find in the link in the description down below. Richard has done an extensive background work into teaching, especially teaching biology, teaching psychology, and teaching physiology. There is a mutation in the gene of the left armpit that he has been working on a neurological disease confound and working on understanding the disorder of such an enrollment through resistance and ultimately genetic and sexual orientation. Richard has done well for the possible prenatal events that ultimately influence your political opinions 30 years later, which Richard has a lot to say about, including valid ways of using biology to help understand one's religious aspects. This all ties into what Richard finds most dearing about this piece, the collective university and the believability, which is all about human behavior versus psychosomatic indifferences. And these two coexist, and they split with a deep Sanchez of believable pavilions. This is not to say there is a formidable mention by such systematic shutdowns in terms of resistance and hardwiring blue collar versus red collar. Now, the piece in general, as you can tell, it is a soft cover. Okay, it does have a bend to it, and it is very, very small, as you can tell. It's not very long, but the condition is immaculate. Richard keeps all of his his pieces in his collection. Very good condition. As you can tell, the cover is pretty unique in its Japanese culturalistic flair, where we have a little rice bowl, given the sensation that it represents some sort of a sushi element. And as we take a look at the top cream, the condition of the top, the trim, and the brim provides minimal and actual fantastic cream in the center reach. Along with the side, same thing. Very good cream along the top, very good cream along the bottom. Trim, brim, middle cream, and it is very affectionate, very fluid, and almost dye-ready. Has a sense of diarrhea to it, but a diarrhea in a good way, like a healthy diarrhea, not a explosive or unpreventable diarrhea, for that matter. This is a pizza purchase from the conglomerate institution of the Yukon Valley in the Canadian region, and even the bottom trim as well. As we take a look here, it is just immaculate. The brim, the trim, and the cream. Now, of course, this has been translated into English, so this is the English translation, and we're going to get into the translation in a little bit in the video, but we're going to first take a look at the side, where it says Convenience Store Woman, which is the title, and we have Sayaka Murata. This is the Japanese author who has done extensive work. Richard has read a number of her pieces, of course, as well as Convenience Store Woman, and he's very happy he did, because this piece is very well done. On the back, we have more praise, general praise for the piece. An immaculate sensation, as one would say. This is a beautifully written piece that falls directly from the sky. And Richard's only complaint, not along the story-wise, but the barcode is inappropriately positioned on the back of the piece. As you can tell, it's deliberately brought down south and then dilated all the way to the right. So the dilation comes out with the twofold, and it swings on the bottom. And you get a little bit of a glimpse of the swing as you turn each page. And the swing does come into contact with the neurity of anybody trying to get through the systematic elemental surprise of the next climax or sensation, which is a little diabolical in the vintage collector's item. This is a national book club, and Richard has nothing but good things to say about it. So as we can tell here, here's a picture of the author, Miss Sayaka Murata. She is, let's get a close-up of her. There she is. So we have her to thank for this piece. She has done well. The miraculous events that were exhilaratingly weird and funny in this piece, we have her to thank for, and she really did an amazing job creating the story. Richard contends more of her, and he considers her to be one of the most influential Japanese writers of her time. Of course, of the likes of Haruki Murakami with the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle and Norwegian Wood, and of course even some of the old-time greatest Yukiro Mishima with his works such as The Temple of the Golden Pavilion, Runaway Horses, Snow Country. All these are fantastic pieces, and we have her to thank for, because she is heavily inspired by such amazing artists as well. So as we take a look inside here, we're going to get a little glimpse of the actual piece itself and what is in store of it. Convenience Store Woman. So it is translated by, right here as you can see, Ginny Temple Takimori. Okay, and Richard has read a fair amount of translated works by Ginny, and Ginny apparently lives at the foot of a mountain in eastern Japan. Lives right at the foot of the mountain. So, you know, as you know, mountains do have feet, and she is able to live comfortably at the bottom of the foot, probably by the big toe if Richard had to guess. Big toe or second to last. Definitely not the pinky toe. Guinea does not sound like a person, considering the wealth of her work, to be living near a pinky toe of a mountain. That's just not her style, and Richard understands that. That's different between one who lives near the abominable snowman or somebody who lives near the belly button of a mountain. These are all synchronized versions of beautiful tapestry that can be developed into a new variety of systematic equations. So the piece, as you can tell, it is a tiny piece, but it's a quick read, probably an airport read or one of those massage parlor reads. If they have the genitalia lotion, that's preferable. This is also typed in Times New Roman with a font a little smaller than usual, but definitely appropriate in the fat deposit ring, where it's mostly visceral fat, not so much subclavius. But the liver will pristine, and it is a decent amount of side work as well. We can get a official page count up here, so towards the end we have 163, so we can officially say that this piece right here is a gem and a 175 piece Japanese novel translated by Guinea herself, and it brought many likings to Richard's amazing dances as he continues his euphorical journey throughout the variety of his philosophy writings. So that's it for Richard Reviews. This concludes Richard's official review of this book. Richard rated it very highly. He notorietily appreciated it, and he considers his behavior forever changed after reading such a novel. This is Richard's official review, and today's review, of course, was Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, translated by Guinea at the foot of the mountain, and this is Richard Review.